Back in 2013, I remember going to my cousin's house. Every time I went there, we usually played some Black Ops Zombies. Or more recently, at the end of 2012, we had started to play a little game called Minecraft as well. But this time when I went to their house, they just picked up a new game. A game that to me, at the time, looked like a carbon copy of Minecraft, just with 2D visuals. We played the game every time we went there, going mining, fighting a gigantic eyeball, going down to hell, and dying 2 seconds after. It was super fun. When I got back home from their house, I remember watching the Xbox 360 launch trailer for the game on YouTube. I was mesmerized. Sure enough, that same day I went to the Xbox 360 marketplace and got myself a copy of Terraria. So now that I've given you a little gist of my first experiences with this awesome sandbox game, today I'm going to be talking about why this game is so awesome and why I'm still playing this game over 8 years after I first played it. Before we get into why the game is so awesome, to help me produce better content, leaving a like and possibly considering subscribing would help you see more videos like this. This video will be split up into 3 different parts. First, we will go over what Terraria is all about. Then we'll go over the gameplay and content that Terraria has, and then finally we'll go over the survival aspects of the game, as well as any sense of replayability that Terraria has. Terraria is inherently a sandbox game. Much like something like Minecraft or Starbound, Terraria spawns you into a large, procedurally generated world where you can do whatever the hell you want. The freedom in the game, like most other sandbox games, gives you full freedom to roam around the expansive world at your disposal and shape it to your liking. Of course, because the game is based on a world system that relies on procedural generation, each experience will be different due to the changing locations of key places and events in the world changing in every world that you play in. Terraria, much like the Steam page of the game likes to say, is about digging, which of course means mining, fighting, exploring the expansive world that you have access to, and building anything that you want, whenever you want, and wherever you want in your gigantic world of pure fun. The world is your playground, and when combined with the various aspects of survival, fortune, and glory, the game truly is bundles of fun. Another great thing about Terraria that doesn't have anything to do directly with the game itself is the passion of the developers over at Relogic. Over the long 10-year development cycle of Terraria, the developers and their passion for their game never diminished. This is quite evident in the gigantic content updates that us players would get almost every 2 years, giving us a whole new game to explore and immerse ourselves in, with new content and updates being delivered all the time. The dedication of the developers has made Terraria have some of the most content that a sandbox game can offer, and easily this game has more content than something like Minecraft. Every update and every change directly changes the gameplay and core mechanics of what makes the game so awesome. Terraria's gameplay is definitely its main appeal to most people that play the game. Paired with the endless amount of content offered by the game is truly an incredible experience every single time that I personally delve into another world. The world is your canvas, and you fight for your survival against the many enemies and mobs that are featured across the game, 372 to be exact. This sheer quantity of mobs and enemies to fight has somehow not deviated the quality of the mobs and enemies that is offered, and instead each enemy is unique, and the sprites created for some of the enemies in this game are absolutely fantastic. Terraria starts you in a large and beautiful world where you start with 3 tools, a short sword, a pickaxe, and an axe. The axe allows you to destroy your first trees, where you are then able to create a workbench, and from there you are able to create more and more crafting facilities that allow you to create all sorts of different items, such as the anvil for creating all of the different types of weapons in the games, such as a large quantity of swords, yo-yos, spears, boomerangs, flails, the many throwing weapons that can be utilized when fighting all the different types of mobs and enemies, the bows, the repeaters, the guns, rocket and grenade launchers, then there's the magic weapons and the summoner weapons. There's definitely too much types of weapons to list in this video, but just from telling you just a few of the types of weapons in the game, it's quite evident that Terraria definitely isn't shy from having a gigantic load of quality content created by the fantastic dev team. There's also NPCs in the game, which are able to live at your estate when you create the right housing conditions for them to live in. Each NPC is relevant to the game and serves different purposes. The guide, of course, is a guide who can offer to you different crafting recipes, which is especially useful if you don't want to visit that Terraria wiki every single minute. Then there's the gunsmith, the dryad, the nurse, the painter, and so many other NPCs who all serve a purpose and helps the game create a sense of community in the world. I feel that if these NPCs weren't in Terraria, the world would definitely feel a lot more emptier and less alive without them, but luckily they're here and they are all useful in their own ways. Now that I've got some mention of Terraria's mountains of content out of the way, how do you actually progress through the game? Well, that's fairly simple. Progression is achieved through the killing of the game's incredibly well designed and impressive bosses who all boast different attack patterns, animations, phases, arenas, etc. But the bosses aren't just normal bosses from something like Minecraft, where the boss, the Ender Dragon, marks the end of the game and that's it. Terraria features a boss like the Eye of Cthulhu, a gigantic flying eyeball, and through the loot given by slaying the boss, you are able to upgrade your arsenal of weapons and armor to go and slay the next boss. But each boss to be spawned has a different method for it to be able to be spawned, with craftable spawning items being able to spawn some bosses, while others have stages such as the Moon Lord, the penultimate boss of Terraria, and the one who marks the end of the game. The Moon Lord is simply awesome. His design is awesome, and the way to spawn him and fight him is also awesome. From killing members of a cult that are praying at a dungeon, to then killing their leader who flies into the sky and has multiple different attacks and patterns, to then killing 4 different elemental pillars scattered around the expansive world, and then finally just to return home to fight a boss who's literally a part of the background in the game and is bigger than anything else in the entire game. It's just damn awesome. Before we move on to the next section of this video, I want to do a quick mention of Terraria's fantastic soundtrack. Each boss has its own damn theme, fitting that boss absolutely perfectly and just being a great tune to jam to. The other themes in the game, such as the underground theme, Hell's theme, the town night theme, etc. There is just too much good music in this game, which is just another reason to invest yourself into Terraria. Terraria's survival aspects are the combinations of the traditional conventions associated with most popular and well done survival games. It takes the tropes of most survival games and binds them together to create a more unique survival experience and something that is more fitted to all ages. The game, unlike maybe something like Minecraft, which I personally do think has a universal age appeal, Terraria moreover fits this better. The game fits to absolutely anyone. Anyone can pick this game up, and once they start understanding the core mechanics, the content and gameplay of Terraria, they will definitely, like me, see that Terraria is a sandbox, survival and gameplay masterpiece. Sure, masterpiece is a big word to use on video games because not all games are definitely masterpiece material. I'll never throw the word masterpiece around. The only games I've really done that for are games that inherently embody the tropes and conventions associated with a masterpiece. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a narrative and open world marvel, a masterpiece. But what about Terraria? No, Terraria is a gameplay and content marvel in the space of sandbox games and is easily one of the best sandbox games ever made. Survival aspects including adapting to the changing environments and mobs that come with the impacts of you killing or doing something within the game. For instance, when you kill the penultimate boss of Terraria's pre-hard mode stages, the Wall of Flesh, killing that boss literally opens up a new realm of activities, weapons, mobs, and enemies for you to fight. But this also means that the environments that expands across the world change and become worse for you to adapt to, one of the core aspects of survival within the game. Building your first base or home is ever more important in this game because everywhere else is dangerous. Sheltering yourself and helping your NPCs also survive in the game is a big part of Terraria's core survival experience. There is so much about the survival aspects of Terraria, a lot more than I can talk about. But let me just say, if you're looking for a good survival game, Terraria fits the title perfectly. Terraria's survival aspects for me are on par with fantastic survival games such as The Forest, The Long Dark, etc. Terraria is inherently a survival game just like these, but it has the uniqueness of its content and gameplay paired with its core gameplay loop. The last thing that makes Terraria so great is its limitless potential in the aspect of replayability. The replayability factor of Terraria is so much that it rivals even the most impressive and unique roguelike experiences. Every world and character that you make in the game will definitely be a brand new and fresh experience, and I can say this after more than 8 years of playing this fantastic masterpiece. Terraria is simply awesome, or you probably got that from the rest of the video, but Terraria is definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and I hope I made it clear why this game is so damn awesome. The amount of content given to us, making each individual different from the last, making each experience more better than the last, paired with the awesome traditional conventions of survival games, to the limitless potential of playability within the game, and finally to the magnum opus of what makes Terraria so damn awesome, is its incredible, unique, and innovative gameplay. Terraria is damn awesome, and if you're watching this video and haven't played the game, what are you doing? Go play the game. The game actually is currently on sale due to the Steam summer sale, and if you haven't for some reason already picked it up, I suggest you do so, and definitely get some of your friends to also pick it up. Anyway, thank you all for the support you've given me. We're almost at 600 subscribers, only days after hitting the 500 mark. Currently working on that 500 special. I'll reveal the thumbnail now. So it's called Games That Changed Me. This will serve as the 500 special. So if you enjoyed this video in any way, maybe consider giving it a like. And if you didn't, drop a dislike so I know to improve for next time. And if you really enjoyed yourself, consider subbing to the channel for more awesome content just like this. Anyway, everyone, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day and an incredible week. Peace.